for Texas Railroad Commissioner, Mr. Jeff Weems. My name is King Krizeklo, and I would like to thank everyone for attending this afternoon. The Karnes County Democratic Club, KCDC, is proud to help sponsor this event. The recently founded club is dedicated to helping qualified Democratic candidates reach office. Anyone interested in joining the club should speak with Ms. Mary Hickok, the Democratic chairperson for the county. I am honored to be here to introduce Mr. Jeff Weems, the Democratic candidate for Texas Railroad Commissioner. Weems' background in the oil and gas industry has propelled him to run for this office. He is pleased to be here today to share his beliefs and ideas with us. Beliefs and ideas for Republicans and Democrats alike. Unfortunately, he can only be with us for a short while. However, all of the Texas Democratic candidates will be in Victoria for a rally tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, let's give a great Karnes County welcome to Mr. Jeff Weems.
Thank you. Well, it is outstanding to be here. I was mentioning downstairs to the county clerk and others saying, I hadn't had a case here. I'm an energy litigation attorney. And gosh, I've had them all around, Beeville and just all kinds of, all Cuero, every surrounding county, I believe, except I hadn't had anything here. I guess y'all are pretty nice folks and don't fight with each other too much. That's a good thing. It was a fascinating drive. I just left Cuero and came this way and down Highway 72. Drove past 2 saltwater injection facilities, 16 rigs between there and here. Starting to get some development out here with the Eagle Ford Shale, and that's a good thing because we have a different kind of Democratic Party and different kind of Democratic candidates running this year. Like me, I grew up in the oil field. I'm 3rd generation oil field. I was born and raised in South Louisiana because that's where the rigs were when I was young. And so that's where we lived. And then during high school, moved to Houston. And once I hit Texas, I became a 6th generation Texan. Because going back on my mother's side of the family in Caldwell County to 1836. In fact, my great-great-great-grandfather signed the Caldwell County Charter when it split away from Gonzales County in 1837. I have deep roots in Texas. My dad's side of the family, all East Texas, around Palestine. Relatives all over the place. I laugh and say not too many of them are in the prisons, I hope. I think. So I hope it's that way. But I was talking earlier, it's a different kind of Democratic Party and different kind of Democratic candidates this year. Because what we have on the slate, and I'll focus on just myself and on Bill White in particular, is that what we have businessmen. We have people who understand running a business and understand that side of things, not career politicians. This is my first run for office. And I've also made a pledge. I am not going to run for any other office, ever. I'm running for Railroad Commission. The Railroad Commission is all I want to serve on. Because the Railroad Commission regulates oil and gas. It does nothing with railroads anymore. It did in 1890 when it was started up. It was started up. Who knows the history of the Railroad Commission? Okay, well, that was nice of you to not raise your hand. There's probably a few people out here who know it better than I do. But the Railroad Commission was set up in 1890 to protect farmers. Because railroads were charging them so much to move their crops to market, it was driving them bankrupt. And the first Railroad Commissioner was a Democratic United States Senator, Senator John Reagan. And he resigned his position at the U.S. Senate to come down here and be the first Railroad Commissioner. It was that important. After a few years, they started electing the commissioners, and for 30 years, it mainly did railroad regulations, regulating the tariffs, how much they could charge. Then they started finding all that oil in the 19-teens, and they were shipping it. And they moved it by pipeline and by tank car. And so the legislature sat around saying, who's going to regulate this? Well, the Railroad Commission. It made sense to them at the time. So that's how they got oil and gas. And now that's 90% of what they do, 95% by some counts. They do a little bit of surface mining for uranium and coal. They open and close the permits for those strip mines. Not the solution mines, not the deep mines. But if there's a strip mine for either one, they do it. But they do oil and gas. And why is that important to each and every one of you? Well, y'all are in the heart of the Eagle Ford Shale. There's some beautiful and some great benefits that will come from it. Some of y'all are landowners and either have signed leases or one of those 85 landmen I saw downstairs in the county clerk's office, are bugging you to sign a lease. They're pushing really, really hard right now to get it leased up because 15 years ago, George Mitchell with Mitchell Energy found out how to crack open shale and get the gas out of shale. It was just a wonderful thing. Our gas reserves, natural gas in the United States, have gone from an estimated 25 years remaining to 150 years now. And that's part of the reason why I'm running. Remember how I said we're different Democrats this year? I'm a businessman. I want the oil and gas industry to remain strong. I want to build Texas jobs, to build the Texas economy, and to keep keeping Texas industry strong and vital. And the oil and gas industry is the #1 employer in the state. It's #1 or 2 in paying taxes into the state. That is very critical, and I'm all for that. Like I said, I'm 3rd generation oil field. I worked offshore to pay for college. I worked on the rigs. After I got out of college, I was a landman, like those guys downstairs and women downstairs, taking leases, doing the courthouse searches. And I've been an energy litigation attorney for 20 years now. My son is a petroleum engineer. He's drilling shale wells in Arkansas, where they have more, they've discovered another shale play up there. This is what my family does. My grandfather on my mom's side, my mom was born in McAllen, and he worked for Sun Oil from Fremont to McAllen. That's where he spent his entire career. So I know this business. We got to keep it strong. It's critical to keep it strong. Karnes County is going to see an influx of ad valorem and other tax revenues in these next years like nothing you've ever seen before. How many of y'all saw what was going on offshore with the Deepwater Horizon? How many of you? Most everyone saw what was going on. That's the other side of the equation, though. You have to keep the industry strong, but you have to watch over them, because what happened out there, what happened with the Deepwater Horizon, can never be allowed to happen on Texas soil or in Texas waters, and it's a Railroad Commission's job to make sure it doesn't. You don't have to sacrifice protecting the land, protecting the water, protecting the air for a good economy. You don't have to sacrifice that. You can balance that. But doggone it, you can't do it when you're running for Senate. And 2 of our 3 railroad commissioners are so busy running for Kay Bailey Hutchison's Senate spot that they're never doing their job. How many of y'all would keep your job if you spent all your time working another job? Wouldn't happen, would it? Wouldn't happen. Not at all. But that's what's happening right now, and that's why I have signed a pledge and have actually already signed my resignation letter, that if I get elected to Railroad Commission and I ever announce I'm going to run for another office, I'm going to give it to a good Republican legislator and let him hand it to the governor. And it will be my resignation. I'll be gone. We have to have full-time railroad commissioners, because I've talked about the good stuff. You know, the economy, the jobs, the build. It's going to help the people that own restaurants, people who own motels, all these sorts of things. It will build the economy. However, I've been up in the Barnett Shale around Fort Worth a lot in this campaign. I'm now turning my focus and attention down here to the Eagle Ford Shale. Go talk to the people up in Tarrant County, Denton County. Ask them about their air quality. Ask them why in the city of Fort Worth, where they're waking up and they find a drilling mast next door to their house, 500 feet away. Ask them how they like their quality of air when they've tested it and they're finding benzene at higher levels than the Houston Ship Channel. Ask them how they like that. They don't like that at all. Well, here's the rub. It's the Railroad Commission's job to monitor that and to look over that and regulate and fix it, make sure it's taken care of. And our 3 commissioners right now have thrown up their hands and saying, not us, man. We don't do air. Yes, they do. They're supposed to. It's in the statute. It's their job, but they're running away from it because it's too hot of a political potato to deal with when they're trying to run for Senate. So they run away from it. You can't run away from your job. If it's your job to monitor and oversee what's going on, do your job. That's what Texas is all about. Do your job. What you got hired to do, you do it. I'm on a job interview here. That's why I'm coming.